The church bell is tolling. Finding the door unlocked and unbarred, you enter the church. The Church of Kolyma is where its citizens come to pray, confess their sins, and offer a penance, usually in the form of a coin. A hideous statue of a grinning fiend forms an archway leading to the church's outdoor cemetery. You notice a Bible on the end of a pew. The monk is dressed in a simple ankle-length robe. A belt of thick leather is tied around his ample waist. He wears worn sandals. The symbol of the faith is displayed prominently in the church. You look over the Bible, which appears to be many decades old. You open it and find that an otherwise blank page at the front has been written on. It is dated over 20 years ago. You return the Bible to where you found it. You also notice that a page from the Bible has fallen onto the floor. You are pleased your adventuring clothes and hat still fit you. Life as a king hasn't ruined your shape. Yet. You pick up the fallen page and read it. The words appear to have been written recently. Silently with newfound skill, wily souls naughtily steal. You read the Bible page again. Silently with newfound skill, wily souls naughtily steal. The monk is in deep prayer and does not respond to your words. Feeling humbled, you kneel down to pray. You rise again after a few moments. The monk stirs, stands, and turns to face you.
Father, I go now to a place of darkness. While I am stout of heart, the path laid down before me is unclear. I seek only the knowledge that my passage be illuminated by heavenly favor, and a prayer that I may make it through.
The monk gives you a reassuring smile and pats you on the shoulder. He then lifts a silver cross from around his neck and places it in your hands.
Thank you.
You are welcome, my child.
You can talk?
Of course.
I thought monks were forbidden from speaking.
Not all churches follow the same rules, and this church is quite unique.
Really? How so?
The monk just smiles placidly at you. You place the silver cross and chain around your neck and wear it as a necklace.
About this crucifix.
I believe you will find the cross to be of immense value. It has come to us at a huge price.
It was expensive?
I mean that it has cost us more than any value to be in possession of it.
If I may ask, why is it that you only open the church at dusk?
We find the late hours more favorable.
Surely then you would not have many in your congregation.
Yes, that is true.
What do you know of the Count?
Only that he is a heathen, a blasphemer. You serve God well by going there, my child. Bless you.
The monk smiles at you, turns back to the altar, kneels, and resumes his prayers. Without warning, a pair of wolves dart out of the dark forest and dash towards you. For a minute there, you thought those wolves were going to attack. Curious as to why they didn't, you decide to follow them. You see the monk standing alone outside the church. Then you notice the two wolves approaching him. You are about to yell a warning to the monk, but the words die in your throat as the man steps forward and pats the wolves' heads.
No, my brothers, we must not hurt him. Not yet. He will go to the heathen's abode. He will do what needs to be done. What if he does not? Then, my brothers, we will complete the task before us, the one we began many years ago.
You quickly move away from the church, your heart racing faster with every step. You have a good idea now what will happen once the moon comes out in full, and you do not want to be anywhere near here when it does. One thing's for sure, you're not getting married in that church.
Oh, sir, have you seen my little granddaughter? She ventured to the town to buy food for me, but has not yet returned. I fear she may be in peril. The forest is not safe at night.
You hear the sound of a child sobbing nearby. As you approach, you recognize the child. It is Possum, the little girl you helped earlier today. You see the little girl crying. What could have happened, and why is she out so late at night?
Are you all right? What happened?
I went into town to buy some chicken soup for my grandma. I always try to reach home before dark, but this eve I lost my way and was attacked.
Attacked? A wolf attacked you?
No, not by a wolf, a dwarf.
For a moment, you're not sure that you heard correctly.
A dwarf, did you say?
Uh-huh. He jumped out at me, took my food, and then ran away.
Listen, I'm going to try to find this dwarf that you say stole your food. You get back to your grandma, understand?
Possum nods, says a soft thank you, and heads back home. What is this? There's a door built into the trunk of a large tree. It appears to be closed. How ingenious! A chimney protrudes from the trunk of the tree. You rap on the treehouse door and wait a moment, but get no response. You watch as a little man runs out of the door, which has been built into a tree. You surmise that you have found the culprit's home. The vague aroma of chicken soup confirms it. That fiend! Finding the door ajar, you cautiously open it and step inside the tree. There is a pot of chicken soup boiling over the fire. You grab the handle of the bubbling pot of chicken soup. You take it with you. An old trunk rests in the corner of this hovel. Upon opening the trunk, you find a number of items that the dwarf has obviously stolen and stashed away. Among them are some gold coins. They display the distinctive face of the first king. They could You hear the latch fall into place again as the door closes behind you.
Welcome. Come in, please. Possum told me to expect you.
The little girl is fast asleep. Grandma looks pale and weak. She must be ailing. She's dressed in a warm flannel nightgown. White curls peek out from her flannel nightcap. Grandma looks too weak to talk at length. Perhaps there's a way to make her feel better. The pot contains chicken soup. However, it has gone cold in the night air. You sip the soup. Yuck! It's gone cold. You place the now cold chicken soup over the crackling fire once more. After it heats up to eating temperature, you remove it again. You offer the soup to Possum's grandma, introduce yourself, and wait courteously while the frail elderly lady eats the nourishing meal. When she is finished, she sets the empty bowl down elsewhere and turns her attention towards you.
If you would like to speak with me for a while, I would welcome your company. A person should never turn away a visitor, especially when she reaches the twilight of her life.
You can't help but feel a sense of finality in the old woman's words.
You must have something in return for your kindness. You do not need to risk your safety for an old, worn-out woman like myself. Look under the bed. You should find something to keep you a little warmer on a cold night like this.
You peer under the bed and find a thick black cloak. Lying atop it is a beautiful ruby-encrusted ring. You pick both up with reverence.
I could not possibly take these fine things from you.
Oh, please. I want you to have them. Nights in Kolyma are cold, believe me. As for the ring, well, perhaps it is better that I do not have it to remind me.
As you wish. You have a charming young granddaughter.
Grandma smiles at you graciously.
She is a treasure to me. I would do anything to ensure that no harm comes to her.
If I may inquire, what became of her parents?
Grandma frowns, and her eyes darken for a moment before she forces a melancholy smile to her face.
They were lost to us many years ago. I am afraid dear Possum never really knew her parents.
It must have been a daunting task raising a child by yourself, especially at your,
At my age? I am certainly not as young as I used to be, and there is no shame in that. I have tried to raise her as best I could, to keep her safe and well. However, I fear that as of late the reverse has become truer.
If you please, I was hoping you might tell me of the cloak and ring's origin.
The old woman closes her eyes as if the memory she seeks is painful to her senses.
They were my husband's. He was a proud man, the last of his line. His family had been rich, a great deal of old money, you might say. They lived in that castle you might have seen to the north. Its location upon that island is evidence of how much they valued their privacy. He was a good man, my husband. He took care of me. Certainly he had his strange habits. Most men do, if you will pardon me for saying so. I suspect that he practiced magic, so I could never catch him in the act. He would frequently journey afar, taking that black cloak with him wherever he went, to places he would not talk about. He said that it represented something important to a certain group of people, and that I was never to mention it to anyone. But he was always there for me, always, until that fateful night. We had been married just over a year, and I was heavy with child. We were both out walking in the weirwood forest late one night. The air was warm, and in our youth we paid little attention to the world and its many dangers. Besides, there was a full moon. We could see clearly enough. A shadow passed over us. We looked up, thinking it might have been a stray cloud. It was not. Descending upon us like a demon was the largest, most hideous bat I had ever seen. Its fangs were bared, and it dove straight for me. I must have screamed. My husband flung himself in front of me to protect me. He swung his arms about frantically in hopes of warding the horrid thing away. Perhaps he was trying to cast a spell, but could not recall how in his panic. It paid him no heed and would not be deterred. It swooped again and again relentlessly. At one point, my husband's hand must have clipped the bat's wing because it lost control and crashed into his shoulder. He tried to wrest the foul creature away, but then he shrieked suddenly. The horrid thing had bitten him. He never did recover from that incident. He just faded with each passing hour. Within 2 days of the attack, my husband had died. We buried him on his family's plantation on the island. Sometimes when I sleep, I can feel him watching over me, guarding me, protecting me. I think he's waiting for my time to come so we can be together always.
The old lady seems to be dozing off. You can barely hear her final words.
I miss him so.
Telling the story has clearly taken a great deal out of her. You watch the old woman a moment and notice her labored breathing as she sleeps. Despite the little girl's tireless daily efforts, perhaps there's nothing more to be done.
Sister Hagatha, my dear, tell me you have good news.
The king has arrived in Kolyma, father.
That is not what I meant.
Yes. Well, he appears to be quite resourceful. It seems his reputation was not totally exaggerated.
He's still alive?
For now. But that will change soon, I think. The king has discovered that one of the gems he seeks is in the possession of a colleague of ours. Do you remember? Kaldor.
Yes. Is he still trustworthy?
Totally. Still sharp, and there's no questioning his loyalty. My humblest apologies, father, but would it not have been simpler for you to have dealt with Graham personally?
Fool! Imagine the ensuing chaos were Daventry's king murdered in his own land. How then would I be able to search for the item?
I see.
Failure is not an option.
Understood, father.
Keep me informed, preferably of good King Graham's death.
With a flourish, you fling the black cloak around your neck and fasten it. You are now wearing the beautiful ruby ring. You read the Bible page again. Silently with newfound skill, wily souls naughtily steal. You read the Bible page again. Silently with newfound skill, wily souls naughtily steal. You You read silently with newfound skill, wily souls. From here, you cannot make out much detail. However, it is unquestionably a castle. The shrouded ghoul looks very frightening. His hands are little more than claws, and his face is nearly completely hidden inside the hood of the shroud. He is standing in a small boat.
Boatman, I need passage. I said...
I heard.
The ghoul's voice chills you to the bone. It speaks with a deep, resonating bitterness. You cannot make out a great deal of its face, but what you can see has the hairs on the back of your neck standing on end.
In life, I would row this boat for the master. Long ago was my untimely death in these waters, but still I remember many things. Laughter, tears, joy, pain.
May I cross, Sir Boatman?
You have come to raid the master's house. This I know, but care not about. You should be warned, though. The master is not what he once was. Never has this land known a kinder, more compassionate, and nobler ruler than he. But his fate has long since been decided. Down a dark path he now treads, and he feels naught for anyone nor anything, save for one other, and even that is a rare trait for a Nosferatu.
You freeze. Neither the Door of Destiny nor Neptune mention this count as being undead.
If I may ask, Sir Boatman, how did the swamp come to be here? Is it natural?
No, the ground you stand upon was once farming land and dwellings for the peasantry.
How did it come to be like this?
A score of years passed after the master died, and a great morass opened up, covering the surrounding land with slime and poisoned water. Once rich and fertile, now it is no longer.
The Count has caused this?
It is believed so, for why else would his own castle be spared?
Ah, thank you, Sir Boatman.
The boatman has nothing more to say. It feels grainy. After swallowing the magic sugar cube, you get a feeling of invincibility. The boatman accepts your payment and motions for you to climb into the boat. The shrouded ghoul paddles across the toxic lake to the shore on the other side. The path leads to the castle's front door. This area is cold and ominous. Up ahead, dark towers rise from a sinister castle. The path leading up to the entrance is lined with deadly thorns and thick brambles. The sharp thorns brush against your skin. However, instead of feeling intense pain, you only experience a slight tingling sensation. Evidently, the magic sugar cube did its job. The ghosts waver, as if being threatened by even the slightest breeze, yet something holds them in place. It may be nothing more than an intensely strong determination or sense of purpose that keeps the spirits anchored to this world. As you approach the ghosts wearing the black cloak, they seem to notice you, and then begin to drift away towards the cemetery. Having an idea, you push the crucifix into the cross-shaped keyhole. It fits. You hear a click, and the door unlocks. You push the heavy wooden door open, take a deep breath, and step nervously inside the castle entrance. The moment you enter the great hall of the castle, you begin shivering uncontrollably, and not just from the cold. This place has an air of death wherever you go. As if creeping around this huge castle was not enough, knowing full well that an undead creature resides here would unnerve even the most stout-hearted of adventurers, you feel desperate to get what you came for and anxious to leave as quickly as possible. The portraits on the wall depict the couple who once lived here. They look young and proud. Behind the mask of apathy that comes with aristocracy, there's a certain kindness in their eyes. An old shovel rests against the stone wall. It looks well used. You take the shovel into your possession. You hold your candle up to the blazing torch. It catches. Your candle is now lit. The window looks out onto the island far below. Through it, you see that the bricks of the castle might provide some footholds if you are inclined to go climbing. It is a long dining table completely covered with dust. Scratches scar the legs of the table. These stairs are narrow and slippery. Both sides slope away precipitously. The staircase beyond is very dark. Fortunately, your candle provides just enough light to see where you are going. Beyond the arch, you can barely see a room with a vague shape sitting at the center of it. Just walk there. The lid of the beautifully carved coffin is closed. The thick black cloak that you are wearing hampers your efforts to lift the coffin lid. Try removing the cloak first. The black cloak is a fine garment. It feels thick and warm. The inside is lined with red satin. You remove the black cloak again. Nervously, you lift the heavy lid of the elegant coffin. You peek into its red satin interior. The coffin is unoccupied, and you feel relief wash over you. as you prepare to look inside the coffin.
King Graham, I presume.
You turn on your heel. There, blocking the only exit from this dismal room, stands the Count. His skin is pale, his eyes jet black. He wears a black cloak nearly identical to the one that you possess.
You know me?
Ah, yes indeed. Sister Hagatha alerted me to your arrival, dear king.
Desperate to stall for time, you query the Count.
Sister Hagatha, you say? Who is she?
The Count regards you with a suspicious glare.
Though I suspect you already know the answer, Hagatha is a charming mage who does as she pleases in this land.
Strange. I was not aware a new ruler had been elected.
Do not be foolish. Hagatha has no interest in the politics of this wretched place, nor do I, in point of fact. Death tends to diminish one's taste for power. No, at present, she is interested only in one thing, as am I, your destruction.
In an instant, you are flat against the wall. The Count has you pinned so well you can't move a muscle, much less put up a defense. You can feel the Count's iron-cold hand on your throat. You have barely seconds before the inevitable happens. With difficulty, you manage to loosen the ruby ring from your finger and drop it to the floor. The Count's eyes dart to it quickly, then flash angrily back to you.
Where did you get that?
The elderly woman who lives in a house to the south of here, near the beach. She gave it to me for helping her.
The Count regards you for a moment. His dark eyes bore unendingly into yours, and you feel as if your very soul is bare.
What do you know of her?
She is not well.
I know. Do you think I am not aware of that?
You are sweating profusely. Hopefully this vampire doesn't find the odor appetizing.
Night is the most dangerous of times for my mortal family. I have kept constant vigil over my wife for many years, so that from the darkness no harm would come to her. When her time comes, we will be together forever.
I think tonight will be the night. I have seen her this very eve. I did what I could to help her, but I do not think it was enough.
As you watch the giant bat fly out of the room, you realize with dread that the Count has confiscated your crucifix. Without it, you are trapped in this castle. Now what are you going to do? Seeing no other possible escape route, you climb onto the ledge and carefully lower yourself outside, hoping to find a decent foothold. It is a long way down. Suddenly, you hear a switching noise in your ear. It's joined by two others. You instinctively try to brush whatever it is away, but in doing so, lose your hold on the bricks and fall backwards. Time slows as you fall, and your world turns black.
When I saw you, I knew it was true. There's a love between us won't be torn in two. Once waked from sleep, a smile and spirit will open a door forevermore.
Our guest has awoken, my love.
Ah, good evening, dear king. I do not believe we have been properly introduced. I am Count Kaldor, former lord of the realm of Kolyma. May I present my wife, Countess Lavidia.
A pleasure to see you again.
In gratitude to you for alerting me to my wife's grave condition, I took the liberty of preparing you a dish. I thought you might be hungry after your harrowing adventure at my window. You will forgive us if we do not join you. Our tastes differ from yours, do they not, my darling?
You shudder to think what different tastes actually means, but for some reason you note that you can no longer hear any rats squeaking in the distance.
Indeed, so much to become accustomed to.
You shall have all the time that the world has to share to grow accustomed to such things. Well, perhaps 30 years. Should the father locate the item by then, there might not be enough world left for anyone afterwards.
Has this father to do with why you frequently went abroad, always with that cloak of yours?
Most certainly. But I think that my affiliation with him and his association has come to a close. My obligations to them took me away from my beloved too often. I do not wish to repeat that mistake.
You are forgiven, my love.
Their attention, which seemed to have wavered momentarily, now redirects back to you.
Well, well, well. What to do with this one?
What were you going to do with him?
Kill him. I had quite clear instructions from Hagatha, who had apparently received them from the father himself.
But if you are not, as you say, affiliated with his association anymore...
They both share a knowing smile.
Tell us, King Graham, why are you here in Kolyma?
You take a deep breath, trying to ignore the fact that you are the only one capable of doing so, and relate your story of the vision in the magic mirror and your quest to find the 3 gems of nature. The Count and Countess exchange cryptic smiles.
Romancing the stones.
Indeed.
Obviously, that was a private joke, as you did not understand it.
So you search for the one with which you would share the rest of your life. On that I cannot fault you, nor on your intentions here. Therefore, I can forgive the trespassing. However, there is the matter of the dark gem you wish to remove from my castle. I place a deal before you. I am looking for a magnificent sapphire-encrusted tiara. It is a valuable family heirloom and has been on this estate for centuries. This castle and its estate are old, though. It could be virtually anywhere, in any number of hiding places. I suspect there are many that even I am not aware of. I wish to present this tiara to my wife as a gift to commemorate the eternity we shall spend together. If you can find it and bring it to me before sunrise, then I will give you the gem you seek and your freedom.
You nod, unable to believe that you have virtually been ushered away from death's door just so you can run an errand for a couple of vampires. You do not want to think about the consequences if you fail to meet the deadline. You take the ham from the dining table. Even bloodthirsty vampires would think you were strange for talking to inanimate objects.
Pardon my asking, but as the Countess of this realm, I presume you have lived in this castle before now?
Yes, that is so.
Then how did you come to live in that old house by the sea?
After my husband died, I continued to live in the castle for a time. I watched my newborn son grow into a man, marry, and have a child of his own.
Awesome.
Yes. Shortly after her birth, however, my son and his wife both befell a tragic end at the hands of...
The Countess looks pained and appears unable to continue.
I apologize if I have caused you to relive your grief.
A vampire cannot truly feel grief, but perhaps my wife still recalls hers. I shall continue for her, if you so wish.
Please, if I may know, how were your son and daughter-in-law lost to you?
They were slain by the Brotherhood.
The Brotherhood?
You have met them at the church.
Your mind reels, so that is the connection.
Why would the Brotherhood kill your heirs? Oh.
As you have just guessed, the Brotherhood wish an end to the reign of my family. Why else would they give you the means to penetrate my domain, so that you could do their dirty work for them?
The Cross Key.
Exactly. Stolen from me through stealth, and their own brand of magic. The Counts of Kolyma have all descended from a single bloodline. We have always been partial to change, as opposed to the stagnating status quo of the Brotherhood. Over the last few decades, the Brotherhood have tried to dispose of my family as best they could. That which I am now was brought about by them. They were the ones who set the monstrous, infected bat upon me. Long have I cursed my ineptitude. I should have used magic to defend myself.
Do not be so hard on yourself, my dear. I remember that night well. That hideous creature gave you no chance.
Perhaps. But I should have awoken from my dark sleep sooner. Then I would have been able to protect our beloved son and his wife, and you would not have been forced to flee the castle, to live out your days in that wretched old house, under a false identity.
It was not so bad a time. Dear little Possum loved it. I hope she will be as happy in her new home. She has a new life now, with no reason to fear any more.
This Brotherhood, are they real monks?
They were once, but something happened to them. Local folklore would have you believe that Weirwood Forest is a host to certain entities, spirits of the wild they are called.
And what of them?
I believe the monks encountered these spirits. What occurred specifically is beyond anyone's knowledge but their own. But it is evident that the men were given the ability to transform themselves. Unfortunately, their minds were apparently transformed also. They began to believe they were destined to rule, and since have presented great danger to myself and my family.
So the danger you face is not a result of some decades-old feud?
Not at all, dear king, though history will likely reflect such. But, to answer your question, the members of the Brotherhood are no longer the goodly monks they once were. They do not represent their fellow brethren well.
You see a young woman sitting on the dusty floor. She has a book in her lap entitled Little Red Riding Hood.
I wish I could read this story. All the pretty words.
A young woman sits on the dusty floor. She is reading, or trying to read, a book entitled Little Red Riding Hood. Aside from the pictures, she does not appear to be comprehending the content at all.
Whatever do they say?
The book tells the story of a young girl who met a wolf in the forest.
The young woman's head snaps up. Her black eyes drill into your own. You gasp as you realize you are looking at yet another vampire. Just how many has the count made tonight? The young woman's lips transform from hungry to, fortunately, pleasant recognition.
So you are the guest of my grandfather's house. I was hoping I would meet you again.
The woman is startlingly beautiful, but in an eerie, unnatural way. You find yourself unable to speak for a moment. She does look somewhat familiar, but from where?
Oh, my handsome gentleman does not recognize me?
Should I?
You remember the basket, the soup?
With a start, you recognize the young woman. She's grown and matured considerably since you last saw her. The little girl, Possum, has been transformed completely into this. She has traded her small ruby cloak for a dazzling satin robe of the same color.
Are you unhappy with my appearance?
No, it's just that you have me at a disadvantage. I do not know your real name.
Anastasia.
A beautiful name.
Yes, 'twas one of the few things my parents left me before they died. They're probably buried somewhere on this island, as a matter of fact. What do you seek here?
You explain your so far unsuccessful attempt to locate the tiara. The young woman looks thoughtful for a moment, then suddenly snaps her fingers. A discarded pile of books shift aside from the floor, and a single black book is revealed underneath. She appraises the black book with indignant incomprehension, then holds it out towards you. You take the book from Anastasia's hand.
I do not suppose that has anything to do with it, but it must be about something important.
You open the book and are surprised to discover not pages, but a hollowed-out section in which sits a silver key. The key's handle resembles the shape of a sleeping child. There also appears to be something written on the back cover of the book. In the hollow, you can see that the inside back cover has been written on. Some words have been scrawled onto the paper. They are faded, but still mostly legible. The writing scrawled on the back cover reads,
The book contains instructions, but instructions pertaining to what, I wonder?
Read it to me.
You do so.
Why, it's the bookcase, silly. It tells you how you'd find a book from there. You have to simply follow the directions.
I am sure you will figure it out.
What is Moz?
He will not bother me, seeing as how I am not at all appetizing to him. You, on the other hand, would be precisely his cup of tea.
Anastasia's face lights up suddenly.
If you want, I can make you like me. That way, you'd be safe.
It would have sounded to you like a generous, innocent suggestion from a sweet girl if it did not involve large losses of essential bodily fluids on your part. You politely decline the offer. You have nothing else to say to Anastasia right now. In the hollow, you can see the writing scrawled on the back. A new book has appeared on the third shelf down. You've located the correct book. You pluck it from the shelf and read its title, Treasure Island. What is this? There seems to be a lock binding the cover shut. The keyhole requires a small, thin key. The key fits perfectly into the lock. You turn it and hear a soft click. The book is now open. Skimming through the book, you find that a map has been sketched onto the last page. Close scrutiny reveals it is a top-down layout of the castle and its surrounding grounds. According to this, the tiara has been buried near one of the graves. You shudder, hoping that this is not going to be a case of digging all night while trying to avoid unearthed zombies. There is also a small piece of writing near the bottom. A date of fate can be found with a first, a second, and a double of nothing. You have nothing else to say to Anastasia right now. She can't read, Graham. Don't taunt her.
I wish only one thing as payment for helping you find that book.
Of course.
Would you be so kind as to take this bracelet and place it on my mother's grave? I believe she wanted me to have it while I was alive. Now, it seems no longer appropriate to keep it. Thank you. I must retire now. It will not be long before sunrise. Good night, Graham.
Good night, Anastasia.
As you hold up the bracelet, the ghosts seem to relax slightly. You wonder if it is now safe to approach them and enter the cemetery. Lord Herbert and Lady Lillian, 1646 to 1668, loving parents of Anastasia, beloved son and daughter-in-law of Count Caldor and Countess Lavidia, our enemies be warned. Their untimely deaths shall be avenged. You place the bracelet on the grave. It immediately sinks down into the earth. The ghosts do not respond at first. Then one of them drifts toward you. It nods, almost sadly. The ghost seems to want to say something, but appears unable. Its face, though transparent and hazy, is lined with grief and torment. Its facial features waver into focus. The ghost is female.
We understand that our daughter will never be joining us now. No longer do we need wait for her. Now we journey to the realm of the dead, where its lord waits to judge us. Farewell.
You bow your head and cross your heart out of respect. While looking downward, you notice that a beautiful gold ring now lies at your feet. You feel apprehensive about being here. You lift the gold ring from the ground and carefully place it in your pocket. P. Hogan, date of death 86. Dundee was done from number 1. Lord Herbert and Lady Mary Ann Drinkwater, 1230 to 1266. They had traveled safely for many a day until crossing a bridge along their way. She lost her balance and fell to her fate. He tried to save her, but it was too late. Boris and Olga. There was an old couple named Olga and Stovich, who in truth made quite a nice pair. They lived with each other for many long years, till they wound up in each other's hair. Date of death, 1567. Alfred Chamberlain, 810 to 810. He'd not seen his first sunrise, felt not the warmth of dawn. All who saw him wept and cried. To this world he'd come stillborn. Count Christopher Ivere, 1175 to 1200. The young Ivere, his time so near, said he, my dear, lend me your ear. Please do not fear, my life ends here. You stop digging when your shovel hits something hard. There is an open hole beneath one of the headstones. Nervously, you reach down, open the coffin, and look inside. There is a tin box here. It contains personal items that belong to the coffin's occupant in life. You search through the belongings of the deceased. According to the headstone, they belong to a Count Christopher Ivere. After some tentative searching, you find a parchment. It appears to be the last will and testament of Larman Odnarb, healer. This isn't right. You run your eyes over the parchment. It's dated 1200, the same as the date on the headstone. However, the instructions pertaining to his burial were for Larman to be placed near his family at the church's cemetery. Oh dear. You climb back into the decrepit rowboat, and the shrouded ghoul ferries you back across the lake. Some hollow reeds grow here. That nature would otherwise forbid them life in such an environment is demonstrative of a strong magical energy which permeates this swamp. You tug forcefully at one of the reeds until it finally breaks free. You put it away and carry it with you. You feel the poisonous waters seeping into your skin. Its potency takes effect immediately, and you perish within seconds. Digging. You have no reason to. You have no. You stop digging when you're You You climb back into the decrepit room. You have Your heart beats faster and faster as you push on the handle of the church door. It opens, and you nervously step inside. Evidently, someone stands at the center of the symbol, as you can see some hair on that part of the floor. There are a number of brown robes on the floor, similar to the one worn by the monk you met earlier. A large tapestry now adorns the wall behind the altar. The image on the tapestry bears a depiction of some kind of ceremony or ritual. It is somehow reminiscent of the room you are now standing in. You look over the book. It is a journal written by Lowolf, head monk of the Church of Kolyma. Flipping through it, you see a paragraph with a name you recognize. You turn a few more pages and choose another interesting-looking paragraph. The journal largely contains many entries of similar types and of daily matters of a monk's life. You are about to replace the journal where you found it, but your eye catches a most peculiar passage. The passage ends abruptly. Though there are many pages left to be written on, it is evident that the final passage was written a number of years ago. How strange. You replace the journal, putting it back where you found it. Goulash Thompson, 1370 to 1441. Never in all his living years had he ever seen such sights. For hours did he stare at them, those beautiful, dazzling lights. So happy was he that he had been able to live to see this night. But down a cliff he blindly fell, for the lights had been too bright. Charles Bucket, 1189 to 1232. He'd go out in the pouring rain and risk becoming wet. He'd never dry off afterwards, so very sick he'd get. In this dark hole lies one brave soul whose questing for glory has taken its toll. Here lies the Odnarb family. Evidently they were well respected to have their own area. Larman Odnarb, 1175 to 1200. Dear old Larman was a healer, cured many a deadly fever. One he caught that bitter day, healed not himself and passed away. You have no reason to... You have... You stop digging when your shovel hits something hard. With bated breath, you open the box. There it is, the tiara. As you retrieve the tiara from its final resting place, you let out a loud, relieved sigh. You feel as if the coming sunrise will be the most glorious sight you will ever behold, considering how close you were to never seeing another again. Now don't delay, you still have to get it back to the castle. You freeze as the wolf's howl sends shivers down your spine. You force yourself to turn and face... nothing. Your anxiety must be causing you to hear things. You'd rather not touch the symbol, as you don't like to think how it may have been used. This tiara is stunning. It is encrusted with diamonds from the back to the front, progressively getting larger. The center stone in the front is a dazzling sapphire. Without warning, a wolf darts out of the dark forest and dashes towards you, and this time it's running directly at you. It's too late. It's too late. You were once the finest knight in all of Daventry. Just what have you been doing this past year? Without warning, a wolf darts out of the dark forest and dashes towards you, and this time it's running directly at you. Brandishing your... You breathe a sigh of relief and clean your sword against the body of the nearest wolf. Hopefully this will be the last time you'll ever have to defend yourself in such a manner. It has always filled you with loathing to even consider killing another creature. This time has been no exception. The wolf is dead, therefore nothing you are carrying will be of any use to it. You can't use... You read silently with newfound skill, Riley's soul. You read silently with newfound skill, Riley's soul. Something is wrong here. There is no boat, no boatman, and no escape. The monk and his pack have tracked you here, and they clearly intend to do nothing less than rip you to pieces. If you're going to do something, now would be a very good time. You tug forcefully at one of the reeds until it finally breaks free. You put it away and carry it with you. Very carefully, you bend down and soak the tip of the needle in the foul, toxic water. The silver needle fits perfectly into the end of this hollow reed, making a sturdy pea shooter. The coating of deadly poison makes the needle a lethal projectile.
I see you have met the Brotherhood of the Pack.
Where were you?
Detained. A man who had assumed your appearance boarded my boat. When we reached the other side, I perceived the flaws of his disguise and dispatched him instantly. The Count has been wary of the Brotherhood of the Pack for many years now. In obtaining what he asked for and ridding this land of their leader, you have served him doubly well this night.
The shrouded ghoul paddles across the toxic lake to the shore on the other side. You re-enter the huge wooden doors and quickly make your way to the castle's main dining room. As expected, you find the Count and Countess awaiting you.
You have performed admirably. Not only have you found the tiara I sought, you have rid me and this land of the deceptive and secretive Brotherhood of the Pack. They have committed many atrocities against my family, such as the deaths of our son and daughter-in-law. I have been forced to remain secluded all these years, unable to serve my homeland as I should, to evade the relentless pursuit of wiping out my entire family line.
Is the Brotherhood really gone? Some of those wolves escaped.
The rest of the pack followed the wolves that ambushed you. However, without their leader, they will find themselves as lost in mind as they are now in body. Whether human, wolf, or any other form, their hastened passage through my swamp will not see a return to their den. Of that I can assure you.
You have trapped them all in the swamp? The entire pack?
An endless flight through the mire awaits them. Should my long-stilled heart ever feel pity again, perhaps one day I shall free them.
As you listen to the Count's cold, unforgiving tone, You thank your lucky stars that he no longer sees you as a threat, at least not for the time being.
I release you from my service, dear king. The nearing dawn no longer signifies an uncertain future for you.
You take the death gem. Finally, you have all 3 stones in your possession. You feel a pang of anticipation as you realize that all you need to do now is take them to the door of destiny.